Hi guys, I know you're planning to pursue a master's through the Futurense US Pathway at Drexel University. I know you have a lot of questions about what really happens in that university, how does the curriculum work, how are the professors, how is the campus life, and most important, what about placements, what is the placement track record of that university. Well, I have been talking to the experts, the people who are representing that university in varied forums to try and understand what does it mean for you, how does your life look like when you study in that university, what happens during your study and post once you complete your masters, what about the job prospects. If you're interested to know about these things, definitely watch the full video where these guys are talking about from their viewpoint why is this an exciting opportunity for you, and I am asking them questions that you guys have emailed it to us about specific nuances about how can you pursue your masters from your dream university, how can you land admission there, and what happens to you post you finish your masters in your dream US university.
Hello, everyone. Here we are with a wonderful opportunity from Drexel University's LeBow College of Business and this opportunity is regarding MS and MBA in marketing. And we have our wonderful guests from Drexel itself who will be guiding you through the program details and how the life is at Drexel in these particular programs. So over to you, Niki and team.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, most likely in your time zone. Quite early morning here for us on the East Coast, but again, thank you so much for joining. We're going to be talking about the MS in Marketing curriculum here at Drexel University at the LeBow College of Business. I have two of my colleagues here with me, Noor Jemy, as well as Nina Mielcarz, who work on our team and that you will be working with throughout this process. If you have any questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat or you can wait till the end and ask them so that everyone can kind of hear the responses. So going through the LeBow experience, the core functionality or the core competency of our program is business acumen. And for some of those that may not be familiar with that term, you will hear it a lot within your program here. It's the crux of everything that we build upon. Business acumen is the ability to understand, interpret, and make decisions based on core criteria. Things like financial literacy, market awareness, being a strategic thinker and developing those skill sets, strong leadership development and continuous collaboration with your communication, problem solving, as well as it's a holistic understanding of all of the functions of what you see here. Building on your skills to critically and analytically think is that competency that you will need and you can build throughout your curriculum here. Student services and support is also a big part of our program. We focus on not just educating you, but developing you as a whole person, which is important as you grow throughout the program to then start your career journey as well. And then co-curricular connectivity is not just in the classroom. It's what are the enhancements that we can offer you within the program. Things like boot camps. Boot camps can help you with your statistical analysis, your analytics, your ability to work in groups, which sounds kind of easy. However, you know, it's setting you up to be in the real world and deal with people in a different way. So all of these things are going to be built through your program. So LeBow Graduate Student Services, and this is important on top of just the classroom experience, but this is your support team as you move through your program. You have admissions and enrollment, and admissions and enrollment is going to help you through the application process as you apply, as you have questions, as you go through your acceptance process, and hopefully matriculate into the program. So if you have questions on transcripts, your resume, your essay, will be your go-to people to help you. Academic advising is you are connected to them as soon as you confirm your enrollment. They're important for so many reasons. They're going to help you with building your plan of study and selecting your concentration. They're going to help you with registration. They're going to help you throughout your program, navigate the services at Drexel, whether that's financial aid, whether that's understanding your bill, connecting you to, you know, Drexel Central, which kind of handles, it's our one-stop shop for Bursar, which is kind of your billing, as well as your financial aid office. And then in addition to that, they're going to help you if you run into any issues within the program. So let's say you're struggling with a class. That happens, and you're unsure how to navigate that with the professor, or you need a tutor. You can reach out to your academic advisor, and they will kind of help you navigate that issue. And then there's also career services. Career services starts working with you as a new student. They are going to help develop you in different ways, and we'll kind of go through those. And just a little bit of overview here on academic advising. And we will be sharing this presentation out, so if you want to go back through this. But career services is helping you with your professional preparedness. Even if you have work experience, there's always room to grow. So they're going to help you with your experiential learning, your internship seeking opportunities. They're going to help. So we have a course called Business 614 that you can elect to take in your first quarter. Within that course, we're going to help prepare your resume with you. We're going to strengthen your interview skills. We're going to set up your LinkedIn, help you with your cover letter, and then go through a multitude of job search strategies. Like I said, this course, you can elect to take it. It is non-credit. It does not cost anything, but it enhances your ability. Students who take this course definitely grow faster within the curriculum and can start their career journey much early. So we highly recommend that. But you will work with your career services advisor throughout your entire program. So talking about the program itself, these are the six core competencies that you'll be focusing on within the MS in Marketing curriculum. The curriculum itself is 45 credits, and that is 24 core courses, which are built into the program. So those are core courses that in the first quarter that you come in, you're going to take 9 credits of core courses. That's going to set you up for your foundation. Your elective courses are sprinkled in throughout all of your quarters here. Your elective courses are courses that are of interest to you. And we'll get more into the concentrations, but there's 18 credits that you can explore of different coursework based upon your interests. Now, the experiential learning is built into all of our curriculums here at Drexel. This is learning by doing. So there's a couple different options. To fulfill this requirement, you can do an internship if you end up getting one. There is a consulting course, which is a residency style course. There's also some additional residency courses. Now, a residency course is something different. A typical course at Drexel is 10 weeks in length. A residency course, you kind of take and you pack into one weekend. It's very intense, but you take that 3 credits from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 9 to 6. There's pre-work, there's work at night, and then there's work after. However, after that weekend, you are done with that course and your credits are applied. So the residency courses are a great opportunity. They are very intense, but students tend to really like them because it's very hands-on learning and it's a lot of group work. So that's also an option for you as well. So again, a total of 45 credits, 24 credits of core courses, 18 electives, and your 3 credit experiential learning. Now, this is important because your concentration. So there are currently 4 different concentrations you can choose from. The marketing leadership, which is a non-STEM, digital marketing technologies, which is a STEM designated track, marketing analytics, which is a STEM designated track, and then you could do a customized track if you are interested in doing something more in line with what your career trajectory will look like. Now you can see the courses that are associated with each of those. Each area has 4 courses. You can choose from 3 of those to design your track. Now those 3 courses are part of your electives. So you'll take 3 and then you can take additional electives outside of that. And that's when you work with your academic advisor to sit down and kind of craft that plan of study. When registration opens, you're typically working directly one-on-one with your advisor to be like, okay, what are the courses being offered this quarter? What are the courses being offered the next quarter, so I can balance what I may want to take this quarter. But these are all on our website. You can kind of go in and see kind of what the course descriptions say. So if you have more questions and you want to look more in depth, you can see that. And just to also state, with the STEM designated track, for students that do a STEM designated track, that does guarantee their, Noor, correct me, it's 2 years extended OPT, correct? Work authorization in the States.
Correct. So give me 1 second. So it'll be as long as you complete a master's degree at Drexel LeBow, you will have the 1 year automatically as you apply for it once you meet all the requirements for your degree, and then an additional 2 years on top of that for a total of 36 months, equal to 3 years post-graduation.
Thank you, Noor, I appreciate that. So talking about the application requirements. So when you submit your application, that'll kick off your ability to start submitting your documents. We require a completed online application, a professional resume, a personal statement, academic transcripts, which can be unofficial. If you are accepted and you decide to attend, you must submit officials down the road, 1 letter of recommendation, and an application fee of $65. So to kind of break down each one of these areas, a professional resume is something that, you will work on when you get here, but you should always have one when you're applying to graduate school. It should outline where you attended your undergraduate institution, if you have another master's, your professional work experience, any systems training that you have had, anything like that. So that's your professional resume. Your personal statement is anywhere from 300 to 500 words outlining why you want to attend Drexel LeBow, and specifically why you think you want to get an MS in marketing and how that's going to help you in your career journey. You can talk about past experience. It's also an opportunity if maybe you started in your undergraduate degree and maybe you started a little rough. It's giving you an opportunity to talk about your academic journey and provide context. So what I will say is, if it's a little under 300 words, or 300, that's fine. If it's a little over 500, just don't turn in 5 pages. You want to be clear, concise, and you're telling a story through written word. That's what we say. So definitely proofread, make sure attention to detail, grammar, all of those types of things. And I will also add, with AI intelligence, we're seeing a lot of personal statements that are generated. And what we always say is that AI is a friendly tool, but you want to make sure that you're personalizing and that it's your voice, because you can definitely tell when something is AI generated. But again, use it to help you get started. But remember to tell your story the way you want us to read that. Again, going back to academic transcripts, you can turn in unofficials. As for 1 letter of recommendation, this should be someone, either a former professor or instructor in your academic history, or a professional reference, a boss, a supervisor, something along those lines. And then again, the application fee, which can be submitted online at the time of submission or after. And these dates are really important. I always say, take a screenshot of these. These are going to be your best friends, because these are what drive kind of your actions moving forward if you decide to apply. So the priority decision deadline for international, domestic, and online is April 3rd, 2024. The final fall 24 deadline for international applicants is June 3rd. And that September 4th really doesn't mean anything for an international student. You really want to focus on those earlier too. Now, just because you see that June date, that is very late. And the one thing that, you know, international students have to deal with is visa processing and visa interviewing and all of that. So applying sooner rather than later allows you the ability to have more time for visa processing and issuing. So we highly recommend that earlier rather than later date. The fall quarter classes do begin September 23rd. And the importance of that date is you will arrive most likely at least a week ahead of time. We do intensive onboarding when you arrive at Drexel. We want to acclimate you to campus, to LeBow, to Philadelphia, as well as, you know, there's a lot of new policies and nuances and people that you need to meet, whether that's the department head of marketing, our team, other faculty. So that first week prior to the start of term, there's just a lot of new things that you're going to be dealing with. So arriving early is important. Before we jump into questions and answers, Noor herself is a double dragon. And why we say double dragon is she graduated undergrad from Drexel as well as her master's. Nina also has her master's from Drexel. But do you want to talk a little bit, Noor, just about from your perspective, the student experience, but also life in Philadelphia?
Yes. So hello, everyone. My name is Noor Jemy. I work with my awesome manager, Niki Kelley. I work with the Graduate Student Services out of the College of LeBow at the Drexel University. So it's a mouthful, I know. Essentially, I am on the enrollment team, and I also do academic advising for a bunch of our Masters of Science programs. And hopefully in the future with our team, we're all going to be working together to work with you in terms of enrollment for this program, as well as advising. Student experience wise, it's very different from undergrad to graduate. So a lot of you may be coming from undergraduate degrees where you completed your classes, you were a full-time student, right? So that life cycle of being a full-time student will continue when you are in our graduate degree. And the rigor is extensive, right? So I went to a different undergrad college. So Drexel University has different colleges. So we're the College of Business. You'll also hear about the College of Engineering, College of Arts and Sciences, and so forth. Our LeBow College of Business, it's not because I work here, it's actually one of the best service colleges at the university, primarily because even as a staff and even as a student, the types of hands-on experience and the types of support that you get from administrative services really determine your success as a student. So making sure that you're keeping up with those connections, that you're talking to your advisor, that you're talking to your enrollment manager, that you're talking to your career services representative, and continuing those conversations and networking is going to be critical to succeeding in any one of your graduate degrees, especially while you're in the US. So we'll be your primary contacts, helping you navigate a whole new system, a whole new thing. And one thing I will say is I am actually an immigrant. So I arrived in the US 25 years ago, but I understand the international perspective. And there's this big difference of like, who can I go to when I'm having trouble, right? Can I talk to my professors? Can I talk to my advisors? I'm struggling with this class, and it's completely okay to ask those questions, and it's completely okay to reach out and ask for assistance and help, and we will always be there to support you. So my biggest advice being an undergrad and graduate student is to know your people, know the people who are on your side, know the people who will always encourage your success. And for you, those people will be us. So that's that. And then in Philadelphia, you will learn this as you're coming, but if you guys know the world famous Will Smith, my usual name is West Philadelphia, not born but raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. It's okay if you don't know that right now. Go look it up. That will be your first introduction to Philadelphia/American culture. Essentially, I'm a Philadelphia native over 25 years, and all the best Indian food, all the best places to get your groceries so you can cook your own Indian food, all the places to go and eat, right? All the places to go and visit, little Indian the places, just ask me and I've got those tips for you. Nina?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I mean, Nora, just mimicking what you said, I come from my master's degree is in a different college in Drexel, and I had a great time. I did it online, so a little bit different, but coming to LeBow, I was so impressed with the career and academic advising kind of like team that you have and the supports that you have to like get you, you know, on the right track. And I've lived near Philadelphia my entire life, but I've lived in Philadelphia. I'm about 6 years now. I was just telling someone this weekend that I am Philly's biggest fan. I hype it up all the time. My favorite thing is that essentially it is a small, big city. So not as big as New York City, but it's not, you know, super small. I love the walkability, the public transportation, being able to get around so easily. And Drexel has a lot of great perks for the public transportation as well, in addition to its own bus system. The sports, there's just always something to do, and Drexel's right in the middle of that. Also being right across the street from UPenn, so students really get like a good kind of college environment. Yeah, those are just some of my personal highlights.
Thank you, Nina. Much appreciated. But we can open it up to questions. There's no silly question. I always say that.
True that, but we have some wonderful questions from our participants. Not all of them could attend, but they have sent in their questions or queries. So let me take a few common ones first, and then we'll dive into the more specifics. Will that work?
Sure. Of course.
Yeah, so basically, a lot of people, a lot of our attendees want to know that are there any on-campus part-time working or internship type of opportunities for the candidates once they will be opting for the master's program? And if so, then what can they expect?
That's a great question, and we obviously get that often. There are on-campus jobs for undergraduate and graduate students. I will say that typically first year, first quarter students really are not, it's harder to find a job, and mainly because a lot of the jobs are, you know, can be TAs, GAs, TRs, like all of those, but because the faculty may not know your competencies and like, you know, what you're good at, you know, teaching, they typically, you know, it takes them about 2 quarters to really get to know your abilities before those things can happen. There are desk jobs that exist across campus. There is Nor, you might have to jump in with me. There is a website that does list all of the jobs that are out there. You know, students have also just reached out to department heads, the tutoring center, to see what jobs are available. We try to, because we get this question so often, we have kind of a template that we share with students that here is how you can go about your job search, because it's different in every school. Nora, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, so I just dropped the link into the webinar chat for everyone to view. But this is from our International Student Scholars website, where they talk about on-campus jobs and opportunities available. They will consistently update this every single quarter. So as you know, we run on a quarter system, 4 quarters. So they will update this each quarter based on availabilities across campus. The other recommendation, honestly, following up with what Niki said, it's that first quarter, you're taking 3 full-time graduate classes and acclimating to a new environment and trying to settle in and get used to the cold, because we do get really cold in the fall, right? So taking all that into consideration, we've seen historically for the past almost close to 10 years in my role here at LeBow, it's really tough for students to like work and succeed in classes. So in terms of an advisor, right? So this is going to me putting my advisor hijab on or hat on or whatever. I'm essentially saying that first term, learn to like acclimate to the classes, succeed in your courses. You can, as Niki mentioned, really network with your professors, let them know what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your skills are and your competencies are. And then after that, browse this website consistently to see if there's opportunities that pop up, but also walk around campus and visit different offices to not only expand your familiarity with campus, but also to check with different offices to see if they have availabilities that are not listed on this site. Students get really random opportunities that do pop up at the most weird occasions. So some students will work desk jobs, other students will work at our campus bookstore, others will work at our Drexel Recreation Center, or they'll work at a couple of different restaurants that are available on campus, right? So there's a variety of opportunities and they will be really extensive, but students need to put the effort in after their first quarter in their classes, because that's when you can get to know people and get to let people know that this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm good at, and I can help you achieve this in your office. So that would be my recommendation.
One thing I will add to that too, a lot of students get nervous. They're like, if I don't get a job my first quarter or my second quarter, I'm not going to get a job. And that's actually not the case, because the way our programs cycle and graduate, a lot of our students, a lot of our marketing students will graduate that following their second year after the fall. And we have quite a few business analytics that'll either graduate fall or winter. So jobs do become available mid program. So don't necessarily fret if you don't get one right off the bat. And I also wanted to make one other, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Noor, you made a good point that understanding the difference between semesters and quarters is very important, because most students are familiar with semesters. What a semester is a 15-week term. So your course is over those 15 weeks, whereas in a quarter-based school, you're over 10 weeks. So it's more accelerated. So the pace is just different. That's why Noor made the note about that fall. You're not just acclimating to being in the US, transitioning over, but you're also acclimating to the course pace. And that can be a little bit of an adjustment in that first term. So again, semesters are fall, spring, summer. Quarters are fall, winter, spring, and summer. And Noor, if you could drop in, or Nina, the academic calendar into the thing, that's also a good resource, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. And I will also note, it is like 60 some degrees today, and it's December. So it's actually quite warm right now. So
Basically what she means is you can buy the coats once you're here.
yeah.
Perfectly valid and reasonable points. Thank you, Niki and Noor. So the next query that we have is around industry connections and partnership. So how does Drexel leverage its industry connections and partnerships, or its alumni network for that matter, specifically for the master's students in terms of networking, internships, or even research collaborations? And as a continuation to that, are there any initiatives or programs that happen on campus that bridge the gap between the master students and industry professionals once they graduate out of the program?
That's a great question. And I'll let, Noor jump in too. So that, and I think this kind of goes to what Noor said about LeBow being very unique and having its own career team that really does a lot of employer outreach. There is a lot of opportunity over your program to network with industry. We hold a variety of different events that are surrounding, interviewing skills with employers, managers externally from different companies. We have networking socials. There's an event, it's INE. I can't remember what INE means because we give everything acronyms, but it's, again, opportunities for interviewing, learning how to just have a conversation with a hiring manager and getting experience or getting feedback from them on things that you did well, things you should work on, things about their industry that, they would recommend. There is a program called Mentor in Residence that we run, and Mentor in Residence is a great opportunity. And again, it's not required, but I feel the more you engage with these types of events, the more connections you make, which lead to potential solidifying an internship, and employment after graduation. But mentor in residence, like I said, it is an opportunity for students to have direct one-on-one time with either an alum or an industry professional. This program's been running, I think, for about 5 years, Noor, maybe 6.
Yes, 6
Um,
years.
Any other feedback on that event? Because I do want to talk about the case competitions and things like that.
Honestly, there's so many opportunities. So there's a university-wide, this is going back to that earlier conversation, how we're individual colleges. So there's university-wide opportunities for all of our students where you can attend resource networking sessions, you can attend career fairs, get your resume reviewed and so forth. But then you also have our dedicated career team. So in terms of how effective are these, it's really about what you take advantage of and making sure that you're on top of attending all of these events and really doing the effort and the legwork on your end, right? So in addition to what Niki was saying, we have multiple types of events. We have in-person events, we have virtual events, we have events where you can actually hopefully go out and visit different companies and really network with these organizations. And we have events from each department. So marketing will hold its own event, accounting will have its own event, MBA and so forth will have its own event where we're bringing in industry partners that are looking to hire students from that specific specialty, right? So Niki actually highlighted all the big events. You got the nail on the head with the mentor in residence, where you have, that's where the alumni come in. So alumni are essentially individuals who graduated from LeBow, who are working at these top companies like Google, Facebook, PwC, Johnson & Johnson, and who work and give their time to mentor our current students. So they'll meet with current students and become your personal mentor as you're going through your degree. So that's one way we connect alumni. And then we do have receptions annually that bring alumni back to campus, or you're meeting with perspectives as well while you're current students. So you're not just getting the assistance, but you're also paying it forward. Right?
We recently, this past fall, did a social for our students, which kind of goes into that co-curricular, but there is a social aspect of, just networking with your peers, networking with faculty, but we did invite alum to that just to talk with the students. So we do a lot of those types of events as well, that they're kind of like no pressure. You can just come and just kind of be yourself and just ask questions about the industry. Another, I think, a really great thing about LeBow is our Center for Business Analytics. And you might say, well, I'm not in business analytics. However, a lot of what your program is going to encompass, especially if you do that STEM track, is analytical focused. So the Center for Business Analytics is run by the executive director, Diana Jones, and they do quite a bit of programming. So in the past, they've done case competitions with Under Armour, Stephen Starr, who is a very famous chef here in Philadelphia, and that was specifically related to marketing. And there's so many opportunities to participate in these events, and these are typically on Fridays because students don't have classes on Friday. And it's like a full day of, you come in, the company comes in and presents, teams are formed, and you have the opportunity to present based upon whatever the call of action is. And, this is something that goes on, you can go on your resume, you're building connections with industry. So I highly recommend, like what Noor said, is participating in as much as possible to gain those connections is important. But there is a lot that you can do. So what I always say is look at the quarter, because you're going to see what's being offered from our college, what's being offered from the graduate college, what's being offered from ISSS. And you're like, okay, these are my core things that I want to do. And I work them into my curriculum and my academic, term. So I really say you could do everything, but you can't do everything well. So you want to be choosy about what is going to help you potentially solidify that internship, connect people to industry, solidify employment, all of those things.
Can I also add, Niki, that some of you might also be wondering, oh my gosh, I don't have these skills. I don't have this networking skills, or I'm worried about how I'm going to make these connections and have these conversations and give, you'll hear this phrase, my best elevator pitch. That's what we're here for, and we'll help you learn all of those skills within the first few weeks of your degree. So just
And
wanted to make sure that you know that, like, we're not going to just throw you out and be like, okay, go make friends and network. It's going to be like, here's what you do. Here's a 30-second guide to how to write an elevator pitch. Here's how to review your resume. Here's how to write your cover letter. So we offer all of those support as well. So and then again, reiterating what Niki said, it's about being choosy and really focusing on what is going to help you best, and then taking the advice of the people who really want you to succeed, aka us, right?
And
Definitely.
that goes back, I just want to add, it goes back to the Business 614 course. Those skills that Noor was talking about, if in that first 10 weeks of your first quarter to elect to take that course, you're going to get all those skills in the first quarter to kind of hit the ground running. That's why some of these events don't run till winter, because we want to get you ready and acclimated. So again, it's not required, but I highly, highly recommend. This year, we had over 115 students, incoming students, take this course, which is the highest number we have ever seen. And the benefit is that they are so engaged, which is exactly where we want them to be for winter quarter.
Right. So I think you have also by extension answered one of the other questions that our participants had around the alumni network and how that is going to come in handy. So our candidates also wanted to know about something out of the career, out of the academics, like co-curricular activities. Are there any specific societies or clubs that they can take part in, or anything facilitating sports or other co-curriculars in general?
There are there's a ton of different student activities. I think the graduate college offers a really great group. It's the IGSA. Did I say that right, Noor? International Graduate Student Association. And that's a great opportunity to meet students in other colleges from different places, as well as they do a lot of programming. They do trips to New York, to DC. It's a really nice community. And they really talk about the issues that international students face, which can be different in some ways because the acclimation. So the IGSA is a great opportunity. And actually, I think the president and the vice president now are LeBow students. So there are offices that you can apply to run for. And we highly, suggest, that's a great opportunity and a really good resume builder. There are intramural sports. So along with your tuition, you get access to our wellness center, which is, a full gym with every bell and whistle, basketball courts, squash courts, you name it, a climbing wall, a rock swimming pool. The only thing we don't have is a bowling alley in there, but it's got literally everything. But there's a lot of different intramural sports if you'd like to if you're a person that likes to do that. So, I mean, you can sign up, it's free of charge. You can see when you get here the different ones that are offered. But, we really do say that taking care of yourself mentally is very important. And a lot of our students, have come to us and said, I've been at the gym, I'm getting ready for finals, like I'm trying to keep my mind straight. So sometimes it's not just about your academic, it's also about taking care of yourself.
To add to that, we do have an intramural cricket team for those of you who like cricket. And then we also have, for those of you who like football, aka soccer. Yes, I know it's football, but it's hard to convince my American counterparts that it's right. So we have that. And then essentially we also have Bhangra groups. We have individual dance groups. We have singing a cappella groups. So there's different types of organizations. I dropped a link into the chat. There's 400 different student organizations that you can select from. Yes, it's crazy and it's wild. You can use your keywords to drop them in, really check it out. We will always recommend, for us, your success is key, right? So the IGSA, International Graduate Student Association, things like Drexel Campus Activities Board, right? Whether you can get tickets to plays and shows and musicals and games and Broadway and so forth. There's also different types of those organizations. So we'll always focus on that. We have the Drexel Career Cornerstone Group, right, Niki? like LeBow's Career Cornerstone group that also assists, like it's students who bring in industry experts for other students, right? So they develop this organization to help assist their classmates and so forth. So we'll always recommend like those high tier ones, but if you have a niche interest, again, Bhangra, acapella, if you wanted to watch anime, if you wanted to watch Bollywood movies, if you wanted to play cricket, if you wanted to play football, those are all organizations that we do have existing. And if it's not there, create it, right? There's always a process of creating it and being that person to initiate a different an organization that brings people together.
That sounds really enticing. I mean, caters to everyone's needs, I guess.
Yeah, the only one we're missing is like Bangladesh Student Association, but one day we'll get there. But we do have an Indian Student Association, so you're good. You're good there.
That's good to know. So we'll take up one last question. So it's around the housing options. So particularly for master's students who are new to the area and the city, of course, then what will be the different housing options or accommodations which will be available? And if you can recommend anything particularly for people who are new to the city for affordable options, that will be helpful.
So that's a great question, and I think can be a big stressor for students. So definitely helping them to connect with one another. I had, like this past year, one of the incoming business analytics students created a group, a WhatsApp group, and we shared it with all the students. We can't run it, but we shared it so they could start connecting to find roommates, to have conversations on about all the things they were experiencing as they were coming to Philadelphia. So there is a housing website. We can drop that into the chat that does talk about graduate housing. We are very fortunate in University City. It is very student friendly because of UPenn as well as Drexel. So there is a tremendous amount of student housing and in very good areas. So, once if you're attending, starting to secure roommates and housing is probably most important, because we always say like first come, first serve, like you get the better choices if, the earlier you start. Nor did we drop that in the chat? Thank you. And again, you can always reach out to us to, we've had students reach out to be like, hey, I found this place and the landlord's asking me for X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, no, don't do that. That's illegal, or that is the person trying to scam you or take, advantage. So like, we're always here as a resource to be like, does this make sense, or is this a safe area? What are our thoughts? Because we're all very familiar with the area.
Right. I think that helps. So thank you for shedding some light on these important issues and matters for our participants. And thank you for the wonderful session and showing us about Drexel LeBow. So thank you, Niki, Noor, and Nina, for your time. Our candidates should definitely also learn from your proactiveness, promptness, and the way that you have passed on information. Thank you for your time and for the valuable information. It was a great session.
I hope this was helpful, guys. I tried my very best to ask all the questions I thought were relevant to you. But if you still have doubts, if you still think you are very interested in building a career in the US, pursuing your master's from a top US university, have more doubts, definitely reach out to us. Definitely book a one-on-one counseling, free counseling with our counselors, our in-house experts, to try and understand what are your chances, what are your prospects of doing the master's from a top US university, using the Futurense US Pathway, and build a high earning career in the US. See you.